Relax. Welcome to a working of the Path of Malkuth. This is the Temple of Limitless Light. This is one in a series of Pathworkings where we travel the Tree of Life and the Spirit Vision and explore creation from Kether to Malkuth and completion. Hopefully we'll get to all 32 paths in this series. And the purpose of exploring the tree this way is to explore, of course, creation and ourselves through the process of moving our way up the tree of life, encountering every sephirah and every path. And of course, we know the paths and court cards are the same. Every major arcana are the same as the paths on the tree. And the major arcana represent initiations of the soul on its way back to the source. The ritual tonight will begin with the Qabbalistic cross, and then I will do a lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram.
I'll just do it.
And then I will do some small invocation and open a portal, a gate structure to the Temple of Malkuth, and then we will have a guided visualization of the path of Malkuth. So let us begin. The Qabbalistic cross. Take a few deep breaths, breathe from your belly. Calm and center yourself. Visualize yourself growing larger and larger. So your head goes up through the atmosphere, into outer space, past the moon, until there's a brilliant light above your head, encompassing the universe. Reach up and touch this light, bring it down to your forehead, and vibrate. Bring the light down to your heart center, where you can quietly say the name of your higher self, or Adonai. Then bring the light down through the center of your being, to the earth beneath your feet, to the very fiery core of the planet, and vibrate. Malkuth. Bring the light up to your left shoulder. Visualize a ball of blue flame representing unselfish love. Bring the light across to your left shoulder, right shoulder. Visualize a ball of red flame representing your will. Cross your arms. Leolam. Amen. Create sacred space. I will do a lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Yehovah. Adonai. Agila. Before me, Raphael. Behind me, Gabriel. At my right hand, Mikael. At my left hand, Uriel. Around me flame the pentagrams, and within us shines a six-rayed star. The gateway to the temple of Malkuth. I summon the spiritual hierarchy of Malkuth. Let those forces and intelligence hearken to my call, for I stand up as mediator of the absolute, in the name of Yao Abraxan. I summon thee to appear, O Besaleon, O Malkuth. Thou art Adonai Melech, God, Lord of the world. Thou art Sandalphon, the archangel of the intelligence of existence. Thou art the Asham, the angelic order of souls of fire who bring transformation. And thou art the mundane sphere of the earth, the world wherein the four elements converge and join. I summon thee, O gate of death, shadows and tears, O daughter of the bride of God, Malaka, the queen, Kala, the virgin. Malkuth. Behold the manifestation of Malkuth. The worlds of ideal form, meaning and structure have come together and solidified to become the world of matter. However, this plane represents the synthesis of all emanations, so it cannot be said that it does not have subtle dimensions. For the material world, without its soul and spirit, is only an empty husk, bereft of life and animation. And in the beginning, the ideal form was made matter, and so the ensuing ages, many mutations and changes have altered the ideals. Yet, the utopian image still exists, waiting at the end of the path of evolution. I open the gates between worlds. I summon the guide that will assist us in our journey. I open the gates between worlds. I summon the ordeal, the enemy within our hearts, the thing that we must face. I open the gates between worlds. I summon the fierce guardian that will challenge us with fear and bar away forever. I open the gates between worlds. I open the gates to the temple of Malkuth. The 10th path is called the resplendent intelligence because it is exalted above every head and sits upon the throne of Bria. It illuminates the splendors and the lights and causes the influence to emanate from the Prince of Countenance, the angel of Keter. I invoke thee, O Bessalon, O Malkuth. O Ladoi, a Forgit de Larixen, a Elisoni de Olna, a Mirage de Hoquin, e Enelun de Ziza, Belanda, Aran Geite, Odo Sikle Quea A. The Enochian call for Malkuth. Ole I Odo A Pelona Eonat de Grime Horeon. Odiri, I Gahusuke, I Sibas Adeti, E Ozean, de Iaidon, O Laho Kamelketh, O Dofin El Al Ananael de Ahomanem, I Ado Efe. Ol Izoma Alaneshi de Ananael Malkut. Das I El de 31 de Selot I Ordane Zoda Easta de Ene di Prime Ka a Capella Ka Odo Das a Charisma I Turan Turzu Da Oixe de Uripit a Oel Queden a Elaga I Pragma Ole ganusa das ol Yuda ete itran igaz muda ole do il itran quan a Cecilat oide f dado ma axmi das oli izierdo el ka das cicle o ganusuge a siga ek o gahores adase de ozin de iado do a vansimel de mekalazoda a polun a yonat I odo o I odo efe a kisile de ilas olin. In your mind's eye. In your mind's eye, you see yourself facing a gate to the astral temple of Malkuth. A large door is in front of you. The door is divided into 4 colors: citrine, olive, russet, and black. The colors form triangles which come together in the center of the door. Carved into this portal is the letter Mim, the initial letter of Malkuth, painted in white. Astrally, you give the sign of projection, and then step through the door into the temple of Malkuth. Once on the other side, give the sign of silence. The temple is a great 10-sided chamber with walls built from heavy brown earthen bricks. The floor is divided into black and white tiles, and enormous oak columns encircle with thick vines support a ceiling of pure rock crystal. On the southern side of the temple is a great roaring hearth. Embedded with the western wall is a blue mosaic relief of an eagle. The mouth of the bird forms a spout from which water gushes into a basin at the bottom of the mosaic. To the north is a large, round, gray millstone used for grinding grain. In the east is a great brazier of incense made of gold. The scent of dittany fills the air. In the middle of the chamber stands a black altar carved out of solid oak. It is covered by a cloth, which is divided, like the door leading to the temple, into the colors of citrine, olive, russet, and black. The center of the altar cloth is white, and on it is a bright burning flame. Drawing near to the light, you intone the divine names of this temple. Adonai Ha'aretz. The flame burns brilliant as you do so. Next, you intone the name of the archangel who governs the force of the sphere. Sandalphon. Then you vibrate the name of the angelic order in Malkuth, the Ashim, the souls of fire, who are the essence of the sacred temple flame. They are the angels of adoration who dance like floating embers around the central altar fire. They are, in fact, the souls of human beings who are dedicated to the service of light. Within the swirling clouds of incense in the east, a figure emerges, appearing as a tall, feminine form in robes of citrine, olive, russet, and black. It is the archangel Sandalphon, with dark hair and compassionate brown eyes. You instinctively give the sign of the Emperor, and Sandalphon answers with a sign of silence. She speaks.
You have entered the realm of resplendent intelligence. By what symbol dost thou enter herein?
You answer, by the symbol of the equal arm cross. You hold up the cross. You face the archangel across the light of the altar as she directs your attention to the temple flame burning radiantly in the bowl of crystal.
Prepare to enter the immeasurable region.
The temple around you seems to become transparent. It fades from view and is replaced by cloud and mist. Before you is an image of a great flaming sword, which is bent like a bolt of lightning. Sandalphon emerges from the mist and stands to the left of the sword. This time she is clothed in dark robes, her great wings thrown back to form a halo of glory around her entire figure. Two rays of light emanate from the sides of her head, looking somewhat like the royal horns of a Babylonian crown. Another figure emerges, standing to the right of the sword. It is a masculine figure with dark curly hair and a beard. His white robes are so brilliant, it is hard to make out where the robes end and his glory begins. His wings are also thrown back in a halo, and his head is graced with two horn-like rays of light. Both figures stand to either side of the flaming sword, with their arms outstretched in the form of a tau cross. Communicating without moving her lips, Sandalphon speaks to you in your mind.
And Tetragrammaton Elohim planted a garden eastward in Eden. And out of the ground made Tetragrammaton Elohim to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, and the tree of life also. And in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, this is the tree that has two paths, and it is the Sephirah, number 10, Malkuth. And it has about it 7 columns, and the floor's 4 splendors whirl about it, as in the vision of the Merkabah of Ezekiel. And from Gedula, it derives an influx of mercy, and from Gabora, an influx of severity. And the tree of knowledge of good and of evil shall it be, until it is united with the supernals in Da'at. But the good which is under it is called the Archangel Metatron. And the evil is called Samael, the consort of Lilith. And between these two contraries lies the straight and narrow way where the Archangel Sandalphon keeps watch. The souls and the angels are above its branches, and the Qliphoth, or demons, dwell under its roots.
Metatron speaks without moving. Learn then to separate the pure from the impure, and refine the gold of the spirit from the black dragon, the corruptible body. The two great archangels, Sandalphon and Metatron, cross their arms over the chest, and in a flash of light, they and the sword are gone. In their place is a great waterfall, the source of which stretches up to heaven itself. It terminates into 4 rivers, which flow off into the 4 cardinal directions. To your right is the river of fire. To your left is the river of water. Before you is a river of air, and behind you is a river of earth.
Michael, the Archangel of Fire, emerges from the river of fire in the south. He is a brilliant, flaming, masculine figure, dark-haired, and dressed in red armor and green chainmail. A flowing red cloak hangs from his shoulders. His wings are feathered in red and tipped with green. He bears a sword, for he is a great warrior and a protector. It seems strange how such a powerful figure can evoke feelings of awe and comfort at the same time. You ask to see the workings of elemental fire in the realm of Malkuth, and Michael reaches under his cloak and pulls out a red fire triangle, which he touches to your heart. A feeling of warmth begins to radiate through your chest. The archangel takes your hand, and together you fly up to a high wooded mountaintop where a fierce thunderstorm is lashing the earth. The black storm clouds churn noisily against the night sky.
As you descend to the ground, a great crackling sound splits the air. A bolt of lightning severs a large branch of an old oak tree, and a blast of light and thunder. The charred end of the severed branch is still burning as Michael picks it up for you to examine. You gaze into the fire, but the heat is intense. You do not quite understand what the archangel wants you to do. It's hot, you tell him. Look deeper, he replies. You gaze into the fire, not with your physical eyes, but with your inner vision. Your vision of the fire seems to warp, as if the image of fire was shifting dimensions. The heat of the fire lessens. At least it doesn't seem to bother you anymore. You now see white flames, not red, as you realize that you're looking at fire on a microscopic as well as microcosmic level. You can see that the physical source of fire is a rapid chemical change that releases heat, energy, and light, accompanied by flame, and it's the oxidation of a combustible substance. Yet you can also see spiritual source of the chemical reaction taking place as a result of the workings of spiritual creatures known as salamanders, the elemental beings of fire. You see small dancing flame-like creatures forming into S shapes, joining together to begin the process of combustion. As two salamanders twist together like serpents on the staff of Hermes, they produce a flaming spark. You also see one entity who is the leader of the others, a small red-haired human figure who sits cross-legged in the center of the flaming creatures. Michael tells you this is Djinn, the king of the salamanders.
The vision fades as you draw your consciousness out of the flaming branch. Michael points to an area of dense undergrowth next to the blasted oak tree. The lightning is set off a brush fire, which has spread widely through the woods, and you're dismayed at this destruction. But Michael tells you that this particular fire is beneficial to the forest, clearing old dead trees and brushwood so that new saplings have a chance to take root and grow. Your anxiety lessens as you realize that this purification will, in the long run, be good for the old forest. You contemplate the heat within your own body and how your body works to change food into heat and energy. Michael seems pleased with you, and he takes your hand once more. The two of you fly back to the junction of the four rivers.
As you sit down on the ground, Gabriel, the archangel of water, emerges from the river of water to the west. She is a flowing, feminine figure with a full body and face, fair-haired and dressed in robes of blue and orange, with the orange rope about her waist. Her wings shimmer like liquid glass, and she bears a large blue cup. She is lovely and comforting to look at. You ask her to show you the workings of elemental water in the realm of Malkuth. Gabrielle reaches into the folds of her robe and pulls out a blue water triangle. She touches it to your navel. A feeling of warmth begins to radiate there. The archangel takes your hand, and together you fly over a vast ocean. Far below you are several dolphins breaking the surface of the waves in play. Further ahead, you spot a pair of blue whales, truly giant creatures, blowing spray from their massive heads as they exhale. You and the archangel pass over these peaceful creatures. At length, you see small dots of land, islands of earth against the vast canvas of sea. Gabriel sets you down on one of these small pockets of land. In the center of the island is a small freshwater stream, which flows out into the sea. Gabriel instructs you to cup your hands together and fill them with the fresh water, and you observe as you do so. It's wet, you tell her.
Look deeper.
You gaze into the water again, this time with your inner vision. Your image of the water seems to bubble and warp, as if it's undergoing a dimensional shift. The bubbles disappear as you gaze into the water in the macrocosmic level of water. Against the pure translucence of the water, you see atoms of different chemical compounds bonding together and forming molecules of new substances. But you also see tiny spiritual beings, tiny orange and blue eel-like creatures, swimming in endless circles, penetrating the borders of each new molecule and even penetrating the bodies of microscopic animals and plants through osmosis. These are the undines, the elemental beings of water, silently doing their divine work, passing information and consciousness from one molecule to the next, cycling energy patterns, causing ripples of manifestation, movement, and flow, and initiating the process of purification. In the midst of these undulating creatures, there is one who has human features and bluish skin, looking somewhat like a water spirit from European folktales of long ago. Gabrielle tells you this is Nixa, queen of the Undines.
The vision fades as you draw your consciousness out of the water in your cupped hands. Gabrielle tells you to drink the water, and you do so, letting the cool liquid quench your thirst. You imagine the undines moving within your blood, taking food to all the individual cells of your body and carrying away the toxins. The thought of this process of purification leaves you feeling cleansed and refreshed. You look up and see the tranquil features of Gabrielle. She takes your hand once more, and the two of you fly back to the junction of the four rivers. As you set down on the ground, Raphael, the archangel of air, emerges from the river of air in the east. He is a tall, ethereal figure, fair-haired and dressed in robes of yellow and violet. His pale yellow wings are diaphanous and transparent, like the mist itself. He holds the caduceus wand of Hermes. Never have you seen a more regal-looking figure. You ask him to show you the workings of elemental air in the realm of Malkuth. Raphael reaches into the folds of his robe and pulls out a yellow air triangle. He touches it to the base of your throat, and a feeling of warmth begins to radiate. The archangel takes your hand, and together you fly high above the clouds.
Soon, you are soaring higher than ever, and even the birds dare to fly. The wind whips through your hair and clothes. You pass in and out of the clouds, feeling their cool moisture on your skin. You plunge towards the earth at breakneck speed, only to turn away at the last moment climbing high into the stratosphere. Then Raphael takes you high above the mesosphere, some 50 miles above the Earth's surface. From here, you can see the whole land masses between the breaks in the clouds. Above you is the vastness of darkening space, the stars and the planets in their silent mystery. What do you see below? The archangel asks.
Clouds.
Look deeper, he replies.
You gaze into the atmosphere again, this time with your inner vision. Your vision of the Earth's surface seems to warp and curve. You now see patterns of air currents over the planet's exterior, as if they were painted in different colors with an artist's brush. The shifting currents, the changes in wind speed and air temperature, the formation of thunderstorms, and whirling patterns of hurricanes are all visible to you. You can see how crucial the volatile element of air is to the Earth's weather and how it works in tandem with the element of water. It wraps the Earth in a protective blanket that makes life possible.
Raphael takes you down through the atmosphere, plummeting earthward. When you near the Earth, he slows, and you gracefully touch down with barely any effort at all. Raphael gestures towards a grassy field surrounded by a grove of trees. With your inner vision, you see thousands of sylphs, tiny spiritual beings with gossamer wings carrying lanterns. From a distance, they resemble fireflies. The lanterns they bear are containers of the life-giving spark that is carried by air to all air-breathing creatures. Even water creatures need this spark, obtaining it through gills or through skin. The element of fire also needs a life-giving air for combustion. A group of sylphs flutter around one who is larger than the other, resembling an elf or pixie, the wings of a dragonfly. Raphael tells you this is Peralda, king of the sylphs. As you stand there, you breathe in the sylphs. Their oxygen enters your lungs and is carried to all parts of your body. You feel the life force in every cell. Invigorated, you look up and see Raphael smiling down at you. He takes your hand once more, and the two of you lie back to the junction of the four rivers.
As you sit down on the ground, Uriel, the archangel of Earth, emerges from the river of Earth in the north. Like a fairer version of Sandalphon, Uriel is also dressed in robes of citrine, olive, russet, and black. Her wings are black, tipped with white, and she holds stems of ripening wheat in her hands. You ask her to show you the workings of elemental earth in the realm of Malkuth. Uriel reaches into the folds of her robe and pulls out a black earth triangle. She touches it to your feet. A feeling of warmth begins to radiate there. The archangel takes your hand, and together you fly over miles of mountainous terrain, flat grasslands, and lush rainforests. Sadly, Uriel plunges into the earth. Although you are startled, you are unharmed. The two of you burrow downward into the soil, suddenly. Finally, you drop into a cavern with an underground stream flowing through it that sparkles randomly with gemstones. The floor of the cave is alive with creatures, insects, and earthworms. Uriel kneels down to examine the ground and tells you to do the same. What do you see? She asks. Bugs and rocks, you answer. Look deeper, she replies. You gaze into the earth again, this time with your inner vision. Your image of the ground seems to bubble and distort. The distortions disappear as you gaze into the microcosmic level of Earth. As you focus your vision into the black background of the soil, you see spiritual beings directing the movements of the insects. These entities are small black creatures of various description. They are the gnomes. Some look like creatures of European folklore, but others look like black earthworms or amoebas with auras. Such a variety. Several of the creatures are performing different functions. Some are pressing dirt and minerals into gemstones. Some are creating pockets of metal ore. Some are directing earthworms to tunnel through the ground, aerating the soil. Some are releasing minerals from dead organic matter back into the soil. Such busy creatures for such a static environment. One of the more classic-looking gnomes, larger than most, stands in the midst of the others. Uriel tells you that this is God, King of the Gnomes. You reach down into the soil and find crystals of salt. You realize that your entire body is composed from the minerals of the earth. You and the earth are made of the same substance. Parts of you once existed in other creatures, in plants, and in the soil itself.
Uriel interrupts your contemplation. It's time to go back. The archangel takes your hand and pulls you up out of the earth. She flies you back to the junction of the four rivers. The four archangels surround you once more. Like ancient megaliths, they tower over you, but they still have more to show you. With your inner vision, you see the planet suspended in the midst of the four archangels. You see what environmental imbalance and the chaotic evil unleashed by humanity can do to the planet. You see the rainforest the size of New Jersey, burnt to the ground in a day. See the burning of fossil fuels and the metric tons of pollution they throw into the air. And you see the deadly toxins dumped into the planet's oceans and rivers, seeping into the groundwater that we drink. You also see the acres of wilderness areas, bulldozed, replaced by buildings and parking lots. All of these events happen on a daily basis. This vision shows the material desires of humanity running amok and endangering the earth we all live on. It is a sobering image, and you vow to use your powers of discrimination to help restore the earth's balance in whatever manner you can. The archangels offer you some final advice. Raphael states, be prompt and active like the sylphs, but avoid frivolity and carapace.
Michael advises, be energetic and strong like the salamanders, but avoid irritability and ferocity.
Gabriel says, be flexible and attentive to image like the undines, but avoid idleness and changeability.
Uriel states, be laborious and patient like the gnomes, but avoid grossness and avarice.
Sandalphon speaks to you. So shall you gradually develop the powers of your soul and fashion yourself to be a worthy vessel for the divine light.
We say these together.
The four archangels of the elements are gone in a flash of light. You are in the temple of Malkuth again, standing in front of the altar across from Sandalphon. You have never left the temple in your pathworking. Sandalphon seems pleased with you. The halo of light that surrounds her at all times seems to glow even more brightly. You thank Sandalphon for this, the first of many explorations of the tree of life. She gracefully nods her head and fades from view. You turn and face the portal through which you first entered, the temple. Giving the protection sign, you step through. Once on the other side, you give the sign of silence. the gate of return.
Can we meditate for a little?
Okay, we meditate for a while. The gateway of return. I open the gates between worlds. I summon the guide which will lead us back from our journey. I open the gates between worlds. I summon the ordeal where we must separate truth from fiction and illusion. On our return, I open the gates between worlds. I summon the guardian whom we must overcome on our journey back. I open the gates of between worlds. I open the gates coming forth by day.
Yeah, it's kind of a good dedication that I got from the ritual I'm practicing right now. But after we generate benefit for ourselves, we offer that benefit up for all sentient beings so that they can get some benefit from the work that we did. And this is a really poetic version of this. With 1,000 white light rays like 100,000 suns, may the many passionate beings of all existence all simultaneously dance. The goddesses of light with commitments to light and the supreme methods of light they have taught. By the truth of the light, may the goddesses take us into their care. May we become beings of light for the sake of all living beings, and then inspire light so that every living being achieves the supreme state of bliss.
The working of Malkuth is complete. Thank you for attending, watching our video. If you'd like to join the temple, the link to join our Facebook group is in the text. Thank you very much.